So my main report is some of the stuff I had seen is something I'm calling the 4Kids Roundup.
Wow, 4Kids TV.
We're 4Kids.
So, for action. I'm 4Kids. For comedy.
I'm 4Kids.
For music.
I have selected a selection of anime that 4Kids TV dubbed. And I'm going to talk specifically about the dubs. And I'm going to tie it back to Pokemon because obviously 4Kids did Pokemon. We're gonna start from the first one. Yeah, there's an air show going on in our area. It's annoying. Can't have to deal with it. First one. Do you guys remember the show Fighting Foodons?
Here's something incredible. These monsters once were edible, so everybody take a look at combat creatures you can cook. Fighting Foodons, I don't need or in between. Fighting Foodons, this is really neat routine. Pick the right ingredients to make the food obedient.
Depending on the spice you add, your foodon could be really bad.
Bad. Fighting Foodons, food or even choose. Fighting Foodons, it's food with attitude. Carefully select your recipes.
Pizza will attack with gooey cheese.
Power up the fried rice with some peas. What will win? Italian or Chinese? If anything's left over, you can freeze. So be sure to cheat for a brawl to start a kitchen free for all. When your monster takes a fall, whip up a little matzo ball. Fighting Foodons, shoot over or even choose. Fighting Foodons, it's food with attitude.
Of course,
Yes.
I remember the show. Fighting
Holy shit! When
Foodons.
you're talking about like people trying to make Poke clone or just franchise clones, Fighting Foodons was the one that came to my brain earlier, and it just made me laugh because they were
That
trying to make like
Is
food coming to
absolutely
life.
a Pokemon
thing.
clone.
I've never. Funny enough
I
is I
loved
don't
it. I
remember
loved
ever
it.
actually. I don't remember ever actually watching the show, but I remember the theme song. Fighting Foodons, it's a food with attitude.
So-
Fighting food. Da, 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 da.
First point about 4Kids. 4Kids has exactly 5 voice actors. They all do all of the 4Kids stuff, and they interswap them. So there'll be times where you're like, oh, that's I'm gonna say voice actor names. Forgive me.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Joey.
It's just Joey.
Hey, forget about it.
If you're familiar with Andrew Rannells, he was a huge 4Kids voice actor, so he plays a ton of different characters. There's times where you're like, oh, that's just Eggman with an Italian accent, or that's just Eggman with an Irish accent, or that's Mokuba. The thing I noticed is Sam in Pokemon Forever. It's just Mokuba. There's all the main character in Fighting Foodons is just Mokuba. Or like if you watch Sonic X, that's Amy Rose, or that so the voices are kind of lazy, and it's funny. You can
Interchangeable.
You can tell how much faith they have in a show by how much they put into the performance. And so Fighting Foodons, they did not care about, because like it's really just a vehicle to do terrible food puns. Just food pun after food pun after food pun.
Exclusively food puns per dialogue. Almost
it's
all food puns.
There's a ratio. It's pretty like there's the food. I didn't get to Spaghetti About It.
Honestly, the only one that I remember is Spaghetti About It.
I didn't get to
because they
Spaghetti
always
About
had those. They always, and the only reason I know as much as I do about Fighting Foodons is because they always had those in between commercial advertisements where you would sometimes have the different shows interacting with each other.
Yeah.
These become monsters. Prepare for battle.
Fighting Foodons, it's food with attitude.
You'll never look at dinner the same way again. An all-new Fighting Foodons later this morning, only in the Box.
And I remember some of the Fighting Foodon ones, and that's the biggest one is Forget About It.
I didn't get to Spaghetti About It. I only got as far as Fried Ricer.
Now that I have this turbocharged meal ticket, I'll never screw up again. Is it really gonna work? Now serving Fried Ricer!
But
Fighting Foodons was just.
they're super confusing, super confusing. Like universe where it's like some of the fighting Foodons can talk, others can't. Some of them just say their name.
You're not meant to think about it too deeply.
You're really not.
No.
And so then the next one I watched was Kirby Right Back at Ya.
Kirby, that's a name you should know. Kirby, he's the star of the show. He's more than you think, he's got maximum pink. Kirby's the one. He comes right back at ya. He comes right back at ya. Give it all that you got, take your very best shot. He'll send it right back at you for sure, yeah.
How can I help you, King DDD?
I need a monster to claw with that there Kirby.
That's what we do best at NME.
You better get it with a money back guarantee.
Oh, Kirby, saving the day. Kirby, he's here to stay. Don't be fooled by his size, you won't believe your eyes. Kirby's the one. Right back at ya. Yeah.
I watched
remember
a
that
few
one.
episodes of Kirby Right Back at
They were
Ya.
on in a row back then.
They were. Yeah, there was a block
That's
of
how-
television. Yeah, absolutely.
That was the block I watched all of it because they're all in a row.
That made me go, why isn't Nintendo doing? And I know they've got a bunch. I didn't get a chance to. I kind of wanted to sneak a peek at some F-Zero. There's an F-Zero anime that I've heard is phenomenal. But Nintendo needs to get back into making some anime. Like they made some
I'm
good
guessing
anime.
I'm guessing TV just isn't profitable now. What with the streaming
It's
services?
not. It's such a fun show. My only thing is there's some questionable CGI in it, but other than that, it's just a really fun. And once again, voice actors all the same. It's all the same voice actors. And then
I remember, I remember really enjoying that one. I remember that being one of the best ones.
And then finally, that's why I also watched
Which is ironic because I think when I watched that show, I don't think I had ever played a Kirby game at that point.
I definitely hadn't. I wasn't
Like other than him being in Smash, I don't think I really even knew who Kirby was.
Yeah,
but I really liked that show.
That was it. That was kind of that. It was that show and it was Smash Brothers. That's kind of it for Kirby for me.
Yeah.
And then finally,
the show gotta play.
Oh, sorry, I should mention. I also watched a bunch of Sonic X. I love that show. I don't care. I like the 4Kids dub. I understand it's worse than the Japanese version.
I like that show in spite of its flaws, and it has a great deal of flaws.
It's also quite 4Kids, man. They had a sense of humor. Their shows are funny. Also, I forgot to mention this up top. They write kick-ass theme songs. Like, say what you will about the quality of their dubs.
Yeah.
Their theme songs are amazing. I watch them every single time.
They're pretty on par.
And then finally, and this is the main one. I watched Ultimate Muscle.
Big bad boys from outer space. Get a body slam, the human race. Wrestlers race to our defense with strength and speed and flatulence. Heroes join the operation from different planets and different nations. There's an intergalactic federation to monitor the situation, catch each and every confrontation.
Only broadcast on this station.
Well, the fun muscle planet behind the mask they hid. The face of our new champion. King Bear had a kid. Muscle has the power. He's also kind of nuts. This guy can't save the universe.
If he only had some guts.
I don't know if you guys remember.
Ultimate Muscle. Ultimate Muscle.
I don't know if you
Of course, I
watched-
remember Ultimate Muscle. I remember reading the original manga for Ultimate
the
Muscle.
the manga for Ultimate Muscle is very funny because it's just a direct translation of the original manga, which is R-rated, but it gives them all the characters from the 4Kids dub. All the names I mean from the 4Kids dub.
That's funny.
But it's that show's super fun.
That's an example.
Incredibly.
That's
funny.
another example. That's another example of banger theme song on that one.
Yep,
I
absolute
love the
banger of a
theme
theme
song
song.
for that one.
Sarai, did you watch Ultimate Muscle?
I've never even heard of it
You've
until
never heard of Ultimate Muscle? What a joy.
No.
Okay.
It is now my goal to send you clips of that later.
Yeah. Okay. So
Please
Ultimate.
Please send me no context clips of Ultimate Muscle because I'm
Muscle.
I'm deeply
Oh,
fascinated now.
I'm going to.
It is technically a sequel series, and it is a gag anime / manga about Ultimate Muscle is about professional wrestling. It's about superhero professional wrestling, and so it takes place in a world where they professional wrestle, but it is 100% real, and it's like they colorful characters. There's extended arcs, and the best comparison I could think is like it's sort of like Dragon Ball, but for professional wrestling. And Ultimate Muscle, and it's super fun.
There's literally one of the ones that he fights that I remember turns into a sneaker, and he's like kicking him around the ring and stuff like that.
The one that
You will follow in your grandfather's footsteps and learn the way of the shoe. You will attain our revenge. You will become a lightweight, high-performance, cross-training, pump-action, sneaker-stomping machine. Now bend, my son. Your body must be limber like a rubber sole. Your mind strong and willful like a double knot. Your spirit unyielding like an arch support insert. You must be the sneaker.
I'm pretty sure I've seen that before, though.
It's really good.
I don't know if I saw it in an episode or if because there was
Could be
lot of shows
another.
I don't remember the titles of that I would just have on in the background, half paying attention to, kind of just killing time before the stuff I wanted to watch came on in the next block, but I didn't want to lose track. But I've seen.
Yeah.
I feel like what you're describing before.
It also could be a thing of like I said before, where they would have the advertisements in between the episodes and stuff, which would show you bits and pieces. So you might have seen like teasers or advertisements for it.
Probably.
There's
that one in particular. They like to use footage from it and have because that the voice actors who you can tell they love this show because like they love the show, they love the humor of it. Like it really comes across in the final product that like it's like they're getting away with a lot. Like it's an R-rated show in Japan, but like they're getting away with a lot. There's a lot of violence in this where I'm like, wow, I cannot believe they got away with that.
On American television.
Well, on Saturday morning. This is a Saturday morning cartoon, right? So it's like what they're getting away with on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
In terms
when
of,
you go back and you read the original manga, some of the stuff it's kind of baffling to me sometimes what is chosen to become a children's television thing.
Well, what's even
based
stranger,
on its original stuff.
What's even stranger with Ultimate Muscle is it's a sequel. It's a sequel to another show called it's called Kinnikuman. And Kinnikuman is a parody of Ultraman, or in English, Ultraman. If you're not familiar with Ultraman, he is Godzilla but a guy. Literally.
Katamari Damacy taught me about Ultraman.
Oh, excellent! You're familiar with Ultraman, yeah. So he that's why he's got the fin. Yeah, he's a pair, and it started off with like he would like most like kaiju kind of based people like that superhero. He could grow to be gigantic, but in order to grow to be gigantic, he had to eat garlic. And like Ultraman, he has a move where he like shoots a laser beam. He goes like this. But then it sort of became about professional wrestling, and yeah, like there's a character in Ultimate Muscle who he's a chess piece. Like literally, like he's got a knight on his one shoulder, he's got a rook on his other shoulder, and like at one point he just cuts a promo. If you watch professional wrestling, it's really fun. It's really funny. I've been watching it on internetarchive.com because it's not on anything else, but it is totally worth it. And as a sneak preview, I'm trying to get through all 132 episodes of the original Kinnikuman. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about it again in another episode because it's also really fun. And it's just a genuinely fun show. It really reminds me of like Dragon Ball, where it begun its life as like this gag anime, and like it developed into this like sequel series about like the next generation and about the characters as they were older. And it was like a sequel series. The difference being though, and this is where it gets interesting, Ultimate Muscle was not successful in Japan. In fact, they canceled it way earlier, and 4Kids commissioned the rest of the series to be finished. So they finished the series, and it eventually went back to Japan, and they redubbed it out of English into Japanese with the original voice cast.
They breathed new life into it.
Yeah, I just thought that was so interesting. But that's it. That's all my half scenes. That's it. That's the end of the 4Kids roundup. I'm glad you guys remembered those. That was fun.
Well, hi there, N-Card Justin here. Thanks for joining us for 4Kids Roundup. Please leave a comment and tell me a 4Kids show that you watched or that you hated. Was there an anime that they butchered that you didn't love? Let me know in the comments below. Click the video on the left and it'll take you right to the full podcast where you can check out all the animes we talked about. Or you can click the video on the right and it'll give you a random video that I think you're going to like. Have a nice day, everybody.